I'm Leather Rock and I'm live. It is now what, 7:30 something Eastern time? I did what I promised. You know what the old saying from the skincare company, Rock keeps their promises. Well, I try to keep mine. And about 2 o'clock thereof, I went outside on the boardwalk. And now, some interesting things I saw. First of all, I found out that cop, people are complaining about him. It's a rookie, that redheaded guy with the beard. And I talked to my buddy Ricky Master. He's a guy that looks like Charles Manson, but he's got a beard that's braided and has a couple of beads on it. And anyway, he's somebody I know on the boardwalk, and I was asking him how come Fuzzy, the guitar guy, was playing. The other day I saw the video proof on YouTube, and if the guitars are being kicked off the boardwalk, how come some of my friends are out there playing? That's what I want to know. What gives some man playing guitar more right than me when he doesn't have a permit either? I mean, who is to say who is more deserving? Is it because I'm a female that there's a problem that maybe I make the Atlantic City Boardwalk look bad? Well, I don't drink alcohol. I don't do chemical drugs. I don't accost people. I don't panhandle. I don't beg for food. I don't ask people for a goddamn thing. I don't interact with people. I speak when spoken to. The only entities that I give any attention to out in that Atlantic City Boardwalk are the squirrels and the mice, and if I see a butterfly or a moth, and definitely a cat. I'll stop anything for a cat. The people, I don't bother them. I expect, just give me a bare level of respect here. I'm not trying to interfere with anybody who's doing anything. As long as you're not hurting anybody, I mind my own business, okay? What difference is it to the mercantile people if a person like me ekes out a couple of dollars when it's safe to do so? We're not harming anybody. We're not committing acts of vice. I'm not, do you have $1? Do you have $5? Do you have this? Do you have a cigarette? Oh, I don't smoke tobacco either. And as far as my weed love, I don't ask people for that either. You know, sometimes people see that I represent, you see the stockings I'm wearing with the pot leaves on them. I like to represent wearing the flower in some form, or the leaf in some form, and people see that. And occasionally, like for instance, okay, another tip I got today, some lady gave me a couple of little nugs from hearing me play, and she told me a little story that she had met her boyfriend at the same spot that I was playing. Her boyfriend was a saxophone player, and she found out recently that he died. And so she was at the spot where they met, you know, when I was playing tonight. And anyway, she gave me a little bit of weed. So, you know, but there are a few people. I didn't want to, I changed my playing spot a little bit. I was closer to the stage, and then I moved closer to the property of Boardwalk Hall because there were people sleeping up against the railing, and I didn't want to bother anybody, you know. Oh, I never did see any of the meteor shower. At one point, when I got the feeling that there was very, very little foot traffic, and so I thought I could risk it. I actually went on to the beach halfway to see if I could see something in the sky, but we had some wispy cloud cover. And because we do have some rain forecast, not for this area, but for northern. I took a look at the radar, and you got some wispy, so that would also make it harder to see between that and the light pollution. So I didn't see any of the meteors. Tomorrow night, if you guys can be anywhere where it's dark, try to get away from big light sources. I can't recommend enough what a thrill it is to get to see the meteor showers. It's two big ones a year. It's the Perseids and the Leonids, and I forget which one it is, but I've seen this particular meteor shower in California in the Mojave Desert in a town called Paris, and I was just so blown away. There, it's a small town. It doesn't have a whole lot of lights and everything, and I was high for the eye. It really was. And one of the things I like to do with the meteor shower, by the way, if any of you guys are witches or metaphysical in any way, you like crystals, you probably know that crystals help to focus your thoughts. What I like to do when I'm watching shooting stars is I like to take some of my favorite crystal points and I like to hold them in my hands and think of my friends and what my friends' deep desires are. It's a lot of fun to, when you think of that friend and what their dream is and you hold the crystal, right? And then you see, you're looking in the heavens, you see a shooting star, and you're literally wishing upon a star. I know it sounds like the fairy tales and all that stuff, but there is actually some, well, let's just put it this way, there's no harm in it. And you're thinking about, I mean, some people believing in prayer and deities and stuff, they pray for people. They're wishing good things for a person or wishing for the person what ideally you want to wish for a person what it is that they want. So many times when people say they're going to pray for you, they're just going to pray for you to either convert to their religion or whatever it is they think is best for you. And not, people don't always know what's in our best interest. So I think it's best to wish for a person what they want for themselves, unless of course a person wants to die or something like that. Then of course I don't want to encourage that. But we all want to better ourselves. We want happy lives, and we want to be healthy, and we want to be happy, and that's what I wish for everybody, you know? So that's a fun thing to do during a meteor shower, as far as a self-centered thing, which could be, oh, you can make wishes for yourself too, but there's so many of them. When you're watching a meteor shower, there's literally, hi Amir, oh, I gotta find a mask for you. It's morning where I am. Oh, where is that? Oh, I swear I just saw a mask. Ooh, look what I found. Now this is by a company called Draeger, and it is an X-Allure. It's a mask, and just because my friend Amir wants to see what a mask looks like, I'm gonna put this on. Okay. Whoops. Getting caught up in some cords here. Pinching the nose so it's tight. There's a test that some people do where you light a candle and you see if you can blow out the candle. And I've heard that the best fitting masks, you shouldn't be able to blow out the candle. But let me see if I have a candle in here. Whoops. Oh, sorry about that. I'm making a bit of a mess here. I gotta find that aura mask. Yeah, if I could find a candle, I could do the test to see if I can blow it out. Oh. And I don't want to use a candle that I've never burned before, because I have some candles that, say I have some kind of an emergency where I need to light a candle for my protection or something. I always want to have extra candles, you know, for emergencies. It's, truthfully, I do a lot of things just internally using visualization. Uh, yeah. Oh, I wanted to mention some things. I'm actually going to go to this park. Um, you know what? Here, I'm going to put this up a little bit. There's this park here in Atlantic City where a lot of the buses turn around when they go toward the Atlantic City Expressway or toward the marina casinos. And this park is also near where City Hall is and where one of the courthouses is. And every Saturday morning, a couple of churches show up and they have coffee and real hot dogs and ramen noodles and clothes. And it's a couple of churches and some agencies, and they help homeless and poor people. And sometimes they have somebody playing guitar there. Matter of fact, somebody I featured on my channel, Duke Champagne, you can find his videos, a couple of videos of his on my channel. He plays guitar there sometimes. And so I'm going to go there with the guitar, and I'm going to bring my laundry cart. You know, the one I found the laundry cart after I gave up on the three-wheeled cart, ever fixing that. And it's funny, right after I threw out the three-wheel cart, then my junkie buddy that said he would fix it, but I'm sorry. He has, some people have just proven themselves to be unreliable. Yeah, I have to find it for you. Because, I have my grow room, which is a room to the side. The fluorescent lights don't work. There are so many things wrong with this apartment. For instance, did you know that if I turn out the lights, my overhead lights, to go to sleep at night, I will not be able to turn the lights back on. So I have to sleep with these overhead lights on 24 hours a day. It's really annoying. There's no light in the grow room. Excuse me. There's no light in my grow room, so I have to unplug this light bulb here and take that into the next room if I need to find something, like if I'm looking for an item of clothing or something. And also that's where I dry some of my laundry. That would be so weird, wearing the aura mask and playing guitar. Oh, hey, do you think I should live dangerously? Oh, hey, do you guys, what do you think of Vivek Ramaswamy? He's also running for president. And the interesting thing about Vivek is, and he's young and cute, boy. He's like the best looking of the bunch, definitely. And he's just barely old enough to run for president, because you have to be 35, according to our Constitution, to run. Well, did you know if you start fundraising for Vivek Ramaswamy, he gives you 10% of everything you give him? That's a fact. If you don't believe me, do your research. I better not get this taken down, because I'm not lying. But, if I couldn't vote for, who, he would be my second choice. I'm glad that I'm actually going live. I know many of you have been begging me to please go live. And, I don't like it when YouTube just takes down my videos. And they have taken down probably about 7 of my live streams already. And since you know that we don't have copies of our live streams unless we download them first, I think in a couple of days I'm going to just go plug in my computer, my big hard drive, and just download what good for you. I have to be very careful what I say about them, because if you talk about certain things, even if you express opinions, YouTube decides that you're spreading disinformation and they take you down. And that's why they're shutting my channel down. So that's why I'm looking for another platform where I could transfer all these videos, where even the political ones will be welcome. But the thing is, most of these platforms require a cell phone that gets text messages. Now, yesterday I showed you the little cell phone a friend of mine gave me. It is so obsolete No apps work on it. My Wi-Fi doesn't even work on it anymore. I can't sign. I've never been able to sign into my Hotmail. By the way, I still am at 99%. And to join, I don't understand this. To join new email services, you all have to have a cell phone because you got to have a text message code. And it's like, what if you can't get text messages? Even if I got a cell phone, I would have to get a data plan. And right now, I don't have it in the budget. I just don't. I've been putting off going to LA, but I really need to do something about my storage. I gotta do it. There's just, you know what? Let me see if I can get some light on my face. I've got a light here. Let me see if this. Hold on. There. And I can put this light back on. I don't know if it's going to do any good. Do you want me to take my curtain down? I'll give some more light. There. Does that help any? The window's right there. So, and I have a Women for Trump thing in the window, which I rarely have it in the window because, the threat of violence was real. But I made friends with most of the people hanging out in front. The old, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, I actually did make peace with the situation that I had discussed earlier. It was all a change in perspective. I just decided that people hanging out, listening to their music, making money however they're doing it, is no different than me hanging out with my friends, smoking weed with my friends, playing guitar for money, doing whatever. We're all basically wanting to socialize. We want to find some way to support ourselves. We all have music and cultural things that we share with each other. And so when I came to that realization, then I no longer felt adversarial with the situation. Now, I would like to get to that point with the police, but it's really hard when you realize that they are so often, they're the ones that start things. Like, I didn't come up to that cop and say, hey, I want to be an asshole. I want to play my 5 chord bullshit on the boardwalk. And, I don't seek interactions from the police. And the thing is, if they were across the board doing this to everybody, I would accept it a lot more. But when I'm seeing video proof that people I know are out there strumming and singing, and if they're taking enough time to let themselves be filmed doing a whole song, and you trust me, you can't focus on singing and playing and getting your chords, your fingers, everything right when you're hiding out and looking out for cops that you know are gunning for you. And I may sound like I'm using a little bit of a hyperbole here, but it's like, come on, you gotta have, I'm sure there's high profile bad guys that they're actively looking after. So why don't you save your resources for looking after and going after those really bad people? Why are you going to target somebody that's just hanging out, playing music? I thought playing music in public fell under the First Amendment. I did some research during this time that I haven't been able to go out and play. I did some searches on Wikipedia and different things just about the history of busking and what happens when police hassle you or they try to get you to buy an extremely expensive mercantile license. I read to you what the requirements were yesterday. Were they not extremely cost prohibitive? I mean, really, to be standing on a corner or whatever, strumming a couple of chords, and you have to get $150,000 worth of liability insurance? Come on, man. And then saying in the contracts that we weren't even allowed on the boardwalk, but we had to be on platforms near the sand dunes. I don't even think that wood is still in existence for those damn things. Because when they first proposed having the entertainment there, people I knew who were playing, doing different things. Like I know somebody that is a puppeteer. And he used to be the Slash when we had the Atlantic City Surf baseball team. He was the guy in the costume. And now he looks like this Mr. American guy with a red, white, and blue top hat, and he wears red, white, and blue like Elvis clothes and stuff. And his name is Joe. And sometimes he pushed chairs for a while, and now he's just kind of one of the personalities here in town. And I remember he occasionally had hassles with them, but I don't know if they're bothering him now, or maybe he can afford the license. I have no idea. But this harassment, how am I supposed to live any kind of a normal life if I'm going to be in fear of the police? How am I going to? I mean, while I'm very grateful for the fact that I made anything at all today, but still, um, say if what I got was ones only, I would have been out there, and there's so much time in between when people come up to you, and when people can trick you out and fake you out, and they can approach you real close, and you don't look at them because you're focusing on your playing, because you never want to act greedy, or you never want to assume, because you can't, because people will look like they're right about to give you something, and they may even watch you for a few minutes, and then I'll keep on going. So, or people will walk past you and you think they're going to give you something, and meanwhile they're headed to the trash can, which happens so much. But then today, somebody now, I hate it when this happens. It totally interrupts my train of thought. But I'm standing out there, and yeah, people. Okay, yeah, I was going to show you. This is my money pouch, and I have it attached to my belt. So it's right here. I don't even need to have a hat and a rock and everything because the hat's too obvious. I don't want problems with the police. Well, today somebody came up to me, and usually they hand it to me, and I put it, when I'm playing. So a lot of times I'll be playing something, and I'll have like money in my hand and stuff. Well, this time, okay, let me show you. This time I had a purse. I actually played with a purse on my arm like this, and I had a plastic. I had one hoodie in it that I had away from me. But you know what? It was warm enough that I never had to cover myself. And as you can see, I bared my midriff and everything. And I never needed to cover up. Well, somebody came up to me and they put a tip right in my purse. And nobody's ever done that before. But then again, because I figure if I used my cart, that would look too homeless. And apparently there's some cops that thought I was one of the homeless people. And it's like, I have seen what the homeless look like, and I don't think too many of them go through the efforts to dress up the way I do. I mean, here, I'm going to try to tilt this so I can give a better view without tipping it over. Okay. Actually, you know what I should do to give a better view? Because you know what? I go through the effort to wear outfits I want them to be seen. Okay, I'm going to, without pulling the cord and causing a big problem here, I'm going to stick this here, and I'm just doing this. I'm not trying to be fresh or anything, but I just want you to see my outfit. Okay, I don't want to fall down because that would really suck. Okay. Anyway, I got the outfit with the pot leaf stockings, and I got rid of those clogs I had before. They were really, really falling apart. So I got these boots, but they were, well, here. I actually cut them into loafers because I realized that I had a pair of socks that weren't high enough, and some of my bare skin touch the insides of this, and these are secondhand shoes, and I don't want the cooties, right? I wipe them down with alcohol real good. But anyway, these are different shoes. They're slip-ons, obviously, which is more practical for me because they double as slippers around the house. And also, if I inadvertently get on the beach, it's easy to get the sand out. When you live by the ocean, you've got to have shoes that you can get the sand out, because let me tell you, sand in your socks will get you blistered up so quick. And yeah, you know what, let me take a look to see if I have an aura mask in my hallway. I'll do that for you, Amir. You know what? I gotta put this guitar someplace safe. Let me see if the mask is in the hallway. Da 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 da. I found the aura mask for you, Amir. And okay, it's got a little makeup on it. This is from 3M Aura 9205 NIOS N95. You know what? Since my braids are out, it won't get tangled up as much. Oops. Forgot about these rubber band things. Okay. Yeah. Let me find that blue mask. I just saw it. I just saw the blue mask. Can you still hear me? I've got the fan. Here. I've got a fan going. I'm just so hot. You don't know. Oh. Kitty. Found somebody threw this cat out. I just saw that blue mask. I just saw it. I think the blue mask is a little small though, honestly. Now, I have this one also. Oh, you know what? Your comment disappeared so fast I didn't see it. Hey, if you're the IRS, look away. Somebody gave me a $20 bill tonight. He said, I support the arts. Somebody gave me a $5 bill tonight. They put it right in my purse. No, that name doesn't sound familiar. I didn't do a whole lot of clubs in New York. I mean, the places I went to New York, I don't know that you would want to go in. I was in an all-females bar. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I have gay and lesbian friends from high school, so I went to some of the clubs that they went to. I was in a bar called the Stonewall. I never got to go to places like CBGB's or the Limelight or any of the places that everybody is gone in. Oh, by the way, speaking of masks, I'm seeing that all of a sudden people are wearing masks again, but it's not locals. It's some tourists, sometimes it's families. I don't really know what's going on because nobody's taking COVID seriously anymore. They don't require you to put on a mask when you go to the hospital or to any doctor's offices. Um, oh, did I tell you guys I went to the dentist the other day and they didn't do a cleaning, they just did a bunch of x-rays. And But they tried to get me an appointment with a dental surgeon so I could get these bone fragments pulled out of my gums. You don't know how much it hurts when I eat. I eat toast or chips or anything hard up against the roof of my mouth. It feels like there's straight pins. Can you imagine having a straight pin, like only about as long as maybe a push pin, but just enough, and I can feel it with my tongue, and there's like about three of them. And they, um, the doctor won't see me because I don't have ID. And by the way, I want to put a lot more purple in my hair before I get my ID picture taken, you know? Because I want my hair to be really, really, see, I would have loved to have my hair in purple braids, but purple big hair is great. But first of all, I can't cover up my roots really, but I would have to, you know, and I've done a lot of spot applications of purple. There's a streak of blue, there's a little bit of teal. I dipped one of the ends in teal. I have lots of different purple shades in my hair, and it's still, it would take a couple of months to untangle this all the way. And I have to totally untangle it before I can bleach it. I got bleach stuff, but it's a different kind of bleach. It's when I got the hair dye, I ended up getting a different brand of bleach, but I was lucky that the hair color store was very close to where my ophthalmologist was. So he said he didn't want to see me for a couple of years. And the thing is, am I supposed to learn to drive and get my driver's license with these glasses? That they're only good for reading. If you can look at them really closely, they have uh, the bifocal, but this part does not give me any better vision than my naked eye. I can't, for instance, looking, I put on this, these are ugly as fuck. I don't see across the street better than without them. So I don't see where this would be any good for me driving. You know, I have to see just what exactly, how intense the chart is that they have you look at when you're at the motor vehicles. Because I'm going to have to learn how to drive, and I want to buy a secondhand school bus, but I don't want it to be as old as the old jitney that they use downstairs. Because that jitney is so old that he has to crank the engine for like a half hour before the battery has enough power for it to run. So I want something that's not that old, but that I want something that will be old enough to be affordable, but not so old that I can't afford the mechanical. Like if things are always breaking down, or if I have to be wasting, you know, polluting the air, gunning the engine, that's wrong. I hate it when people gun the engines around here, and we used to have such clean air. And I remember when the buses, we call them the day trippers. The buses would come with these people that would play slot machines all day, and then they would go home wherever. And they used to not make the buses cut off the engines. Now you're not allowed to idle for more than 3 minutes. But they only enforce that when the signs are up, and they don't do anything about private citizens. So you can have somebody that's here to buy drugs on the corner, and they'll run the engine for 3-4 hours straight, and that's happened. And I got into some real altercations last year, previous years and stuff, and that's actually how I got punched in the face that time. It was because I had an altercation over that, truth be told. But I still stand by everything I did, except maybe the second time I should have kept my hair in the hat and the mask on so that she couldn't identify me, because that's the thing. Yeah. I gotta watch the time because I don't have sunblock on yet. I don't have any. Oops, what the hell am I doing? It's a mask, not a bra. Yeah, can you tell it's been a long night? And you know, when I get done with the stream, I'm gonna pour my mom and me fresh cup of coffee. I made coffee. Somebody gave me a whole bag of beans and I used a grinder and I ground fresh ground coffee. Do I I look smart to you? Do I look educated? I got books. Oh, you know what I'm reading now? This is what I'm studying. People downstairs, they're studying other things, but this is my second copy of this. I was given a copy of this in Hollywood, California, during, this was the anniversary of John Lennon's his birthday. They always have people singing Beatles music and playing guitars, and yeah, I was given a copy of this then. So I think my other copy is in Los Angeles. Oh, and this is another book I'm reading. Gretchen Carlson, she was on Fox News, and did you know that she was a Miss America? I didn't even know that, and you know, Miss America is from my town. But anyway, this is supposed to be a real juicy read, but you know what? I have just, I don't have the time and the discipline to sit down to read, but now that I have reading glasses, I think I should. Oh, this is another good book. I'm a fan of this guy. Yeah. Oh. And this, I haven't even cracked this open yet, but this is all about beadwork. And this is my mom's book from Boy Scouts. You want to learn how to tie ropes. And this would really be a good skill to have, especially if you ever have to go camping, or just, you know, say you have to make a raft to escape. Like, imagine those poor people in Hawaii. Right? I mean, I can't even imagine. I never thought something like that would happen over there. I thought the big thing they had to worry about was the volcanoes. And just my heart goes out to that community. You know, I was watching the Weather Channel because I'm a real weather nut. You know, they have this thing late at night on the Weather Channel called Twilight, Weather Channel Twilight Live. And they show retro weather on the 8th, so you get to see what the weather is in a bunch of different cities here in America. And then they show different views of the globe, and they show like earthquakes, where the biggest earthquakes are, where the heaviest winds are, where the most precipitation is, where the lightning strikes is, all these different things. Anything that you're interested in, they'll tell you. Probably talk about the UVs and stuff, even though since this is at nighttime, obviously the UVs would be on the other part of the world. And this only focuses on the northwestern hemisphere. So, but I would imagine the Weather Channel's versions in other countries might offer a similar thing. But it's really great because usually they have 24 hours, they have different kind of programming besides your local weather. Like they have the different like storm stories, and they have the different series that they have, like about the gold miners and the jade miners and the truckers going through Canada, and the people on the boats that ship all the goods to the people in the remote villages in Canada, and those are really cool programming. But in the wee hours of the Weather Channel, they have this Twilight uh, live thing, and they have sometimes club music like soft techno in the background, and it shows how beautiful our globe is. And also, I kind of get a thrill when it shows down the coast and it shows Atlantic City, because it means that it's small town. It says it's big enough to be on the map. Anyway, yeah, I really do like the Weather Channel's thing late at night. But another thing, speaking of television, my mom turns me on to the darndest stuff. She likes the TLC network, and she got me hooked on to Pimple Popper, something I swore that I would never get into. But you realize that that lady really does help people, and she's beautiful, and she's kind, and kind people. That's where it's. So I also like those romance shows, like the 90-day romance and before the 90 days. They're addictive. I think part of it is I actually want to see relationships where people are getting along and somebody isn't crazy, and good luck trying to date here in where everybody's fucking crazy. I swear, every time somebody, it doesn't matter what their fucking gender is, every time I meet somebody and they're even remotely promising, you talk to them long enough and you reveal that they're missing some sandwiches in their picnic, man. There's always something. My mom said to me, because sometimes I would tell her, there's this person I know, I tell her things. She says, yeah, what's wrong with them? My mom, she knows a thing or two about a thing or two, even though after, she married my father and that was kind of it for her, but she still does not lack sophistication. And, yeah, so many people, the reason with guys, especially I'm noticing, especially guys of a certain age, the reason why they seem to want relationships is because they want somebody to take care of them. It's like you want a nurse, you want a visiting angel or something. I mean, you know, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm taking care of my mother, and I took care of my father when he was here. You know what that takes out of you. You know how tiring it is physically. You get physically exhausting because your physical labor. When a person falls down, you're picking them up, you're lifting them up for a dead weight when a person's legs give out, for instance. Or you're trying to help get somebody to eat when they don't have an appetite, and it's almost like roles are reversed. And it's emotionally taxing because sometimes you get annoyed and you lose patience, and then you feel guilty because you're thinking, this is my mom, this is my dad, I shouldn't have this attitude. With any friend, you shouldn't lose patience, because what would the alternative be? That your friend not be around, your parent not be around? So I feel so grateful that I am in this position, that I'm not overly busy with things where if I had trying to keep up with a mortgage and had mouths to feed and a spouse or a really demanding career where I couldn't be here and I would have missed these important things going on with my parents, I would have felt terribly guilty. Plus if I hadn't been here when I was, where and when would I have gotten sober off alcohol? Because I quit alcohol here. I quit alcohol in 2004 right here in this town. And I don't know if the circumstances would have mimicked what caused me to get sober when I was still in California. That's the honest truth, because I didn't drink as much in California, but when I did, I definitely overdid it. California is like the epicenter of binge drinking, probably. So my being here, I could see how I was able to get sober because there wasn't a whole lot more to do if you weren't a gambler besides drink. So I was able to, it exacerbated me seeing how it was harming me. So I was able to make the connection and I was able to stop. And I really certainly don't get tempted now when I see people making fools of themselves. Or I realize that the only reason why they're being so exaggerated in their profound expressions or whatever is because they're sauced out of their gourd, But at least if I know, then I know it's the alcohol talking, It's when you don't know and you misinterpret things. But if I know that you're crazy, or if I know you're on drugs, or I know you're tripping, or I know you're on heroin, or I know you're drunk, then it's just like if I know what your astrological sign is, I can deal with you better. Okay, I want to take this out off of here. I really need to put sunblock on. It's not a negotiable for me. And matter of fact, I just had it and I set it down someplace. Well, Mom, I'll get you your coffee in a minute. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to the person that said he supported the arts. Thank you. If I hadn't gone out, I wouldn't have made that. And again, it would have been so much better if I could have been during civilized hours. But Officer Red Hair Asshole, who, man, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. Now, I was talking to somebody in line for something earlier this afternoon, and he said, look, once a cop has a hard on for you, not a whole lot you can do, you know. But it's like, why have it in for me when there's so many other people? I mean, really? I'm not aggressive. I'm not rude. I don't have the vices which would make me distasteful to other people. So I don't understand. And I wasn't wearing anything political that a person could find any fault with. Unless he didn't like my, but he wasn't close enough to see that. Okay, I will talk to you guys when I talk to you. Yeah. Thank you. Whoops. Thank you for tuning in. And I will see you soon. Bye.